everyone. Today we are going to go on our next practice question for income statement of a sole trader. This is my fifth lecture. This is my fifth lecture for a practice session wherein we will be doing sums with adjustments. Okay, it is again a past paper question, May-June 2003, 0452. Paper 2. Okay, so it is May-June 2003, 0452, paper 2, but with the adjustments. Okay, what are we asked to do? We are asked to define what a trial balance is. Come on, let's recall, if you remember, the definition of a trial balance. What is a trial balance? Think about it. Trial balance is the list of all the accounts, list of balances of all the accounts. It is a list of balances. Trial balance is a list of balances of what? It is a list of balances of the accounts, where accounts in the books or accounts in the ledgers at a particular date. At a particular date, and it is used to check the arithmetical accuracy. It is used to check the arithmetical accuracy. So because it is of 3 marks, you need to write minimum 3 points. Now you have a trial balance over here. This is the list of balances of the accounts. Accounts depending whether it has a debit balance or a credit balance. And what are you asked to prepare? You asked to prepare the income statement. Remember, the income statement is made up of the trading account and profit and loss account. The section up to gross profit gives you the trading section, and after gross profit gives you the profit and loss account section. Before I go and do the marking, let me see what are the adjustments. Inventory on the last date, 30th September. Trial balance is also made on the last date. So inventory on the last date, closing inventory, 14,300, two effects. Show it as a current asset, less from cost of sales. Show it as current asset, less from cost of sales. Wages accrued but unpaid. These are your outstanding wages, accrued wages. You've not yet paid it. You still have to pay it. It is outstanding, and because you've not paid it, you have to include it as an expense. And the other effect, it will come in current liability, other payables. Prepaid. You have paid in advance. Service is yet to be received. It will come in current asset. And because you have paid in advance, this is not the expense for the year. It is not expense for the year. So you will subtract from expense, less from expense. So I will subtract this from the expense and I will show it as a current asset. This is prepaid. Bank statement for 30th September showed bank charges of 120 and it is not entered in the books. So because it is not entered in the books, now you enter it. So bank charges would be one item that you will add in over here and you will write it as an expense. And how much is the bank charges? 120. Depreciation for the year is 1,700. This is not entered. So it goes at two places. One, you will enter into the book. So you will record it as an expense, bank charges. Bank statement shows bank charges of 120. Not entered, you enter it. Depreciation 1,700 is to be provided for the year. It is the current year's depreciation. Current year's depreciation, one effect would come as an expense. And the second effect is you will add it in the second column. You will add it in the second column of your balance sheet. You have current assets, costs, depreciation to date. Depreciation to date always has the old and the new both added together. From the cost, you subtract the depreciation to date, you get the net book value. Very easy sum. These are the only adjustments that are there. There is no other adjustments. So what you can do is now mark as to what things will come where. Bank overdrawn, it is a current liability. Revenue, that means sales minus sales return is already adjusted. This is revenue. Purchases is purchases. Carriage inward is added to purchases. Opening inventory, cost of sales, rent payable. Now remember, payable means you still have to pay. Payable means you still have to pay, but in the trial balance, when it is rent payable, you will record it as an expense. Okay, this is one thing. In the trial balance, payable will be the expense payable will be an expense and income receivable will be an income. Property tax expense, electricity expense, wages and salaries expense. This is your non-current asset. This is your non-current asset, second column. Repairs and maintenance expense, administrative expense, it is again an expense. Retained profit forms a part of your share capital. This is done in detail in limited companies. Retained profits. Okay, this is opening retained profit. It forms a part of your share capital. For now, you can just remember this. Trade receivable is your current asset. Trade payable is your current liability. Now what I have to do, I just have to record it. I have done all the markings. As I always do, I just cropped the sum down. Okay, we start with revenue. Revenue will go in the outermost column and the cost of sales would come in the outermost column. All the adjustments in the second column. So I have my revenue as 92,000. This will be adjusted with cost of sales. So I say less cost of sales. Cost of sales as opening inventory. The inventory in the trial balance has always the opening inventory. So it is the opening stock at 1st October 2009. 13,900. In this, I will add the purchases, but here the purchases is adjusted for carriage inward. Add the carriage inward to the purchases. There is no other things that you need to adjust in the purchases. So I'll just add it. So it becomes 70,900. Opening stock at purchases always arrive at a figure. Opening stock at purchases always arrive at a figure. So opening stock at purchases, but in the purchases do the adjustments and the figure would come in the second column only. This is making it 84,800. You would deduct the closing inventory. You would deduct the closing inventory and the closing inventory you will always get from the trial balance. So closing stock would be on the last date. So I will write the last date, 30th September 2010. What is the closing inventory? It is 14,300. Rest all adjustments I have incorporated in the trial balance. This figure, opening inventory at purchases minus closing inventory, would give me cost of sales. And remember, the cost of sales is the figure that will come in the outer column. 84,800 minus 14,300 gives me cost of sales. Cost of sales is 70,500. Revenue minus cost of sales. Revenue minus cost of sales gives me the gross profit. What is the gross profit? 92,000 minus 7,500 will give me a gross profit of 21,500. Look at the sum again and see what information is done. Bank overdrawn, I don't need. Revenue is done, purchase done, carriage inward done, inventory done. Now I am left with expenses. I have rent payable. Okay, I have a rent payable. So just add any other income is there. So first to do adjustments for income. If you don't have income, just start recording the expenses, less expenses. Giving your time, just copy and write. Even I am writing, even you write. In the meanwhile, you can just check it along with me. So you've already done this, just check it. Profit for the year figure is very important because it is added to capital in case you're making your balance sheet. Next, we would see the question, name the accounting principle which has been applied to the amount included in the income statement for each of the following stock. Now, if I see my closing stock 14,300, it is always valued at lower of cost and net realizable value. So accounting principle to value stock is prudence. Okay, accounting principle to value stock is prudence. Okay. Why prudence? You can explain prudence also because it is 2 marks each. So prudence say stock should be valued, stock valued at lower of costs and NRV. Okay. So whatever is lower, you value the inventory, your closing inventory at that price. This is as per the accounting principle of prudence. Property tax. In the property tax, I had removed the prepaid. That means I am following the accrual concept. That means I'm following the accrual or matching a concept wherein I match the income for the year with the expense for the year. Anything that is paid in extra is removed. Come on. From the answers, calculate rate of stock turnover. We have already done this. Stock upon turnover. Stock is on cost, so turnover also on cost. But because it is a turnover ratio, so we say rate of inventory turnover. Rate of inventory turnover. You will turn over the formula only. Cost of sales upon average stock. Okay, rate of inventory turnover, cost of sales upon average stock. This is the figure of your cost of sales, 7,500. Average stock is opening inventory, that is 13,900 plus closing inventory, that is 14,300. Upon 2. So this will give you 70,500 upon what is the average stock? 13,900 plus 14,300 divided by 2. Your average stock is 14,100. Answer you will get in times 7,500 divided by 14,100. Your answer is 5 times. So your inventory turnover ratio is 5 times. That is approximately 5 times the inventory is getting turned over in your warehouse. This is your inventory turnover ratio. If you want the same answer in days, just reverse the formula upside down. You will get the answer in days. Government had bank overdraft on 30th September. Suggest ways to eliminate the overdraft. How will you remove the extra amount of money that you've overdrawn from the bank? You will collect your trade receivables. You can sell your inventory or you can reduce inventory. You need more cash in hand to do this. You can delay your payables and eliminate the bank overdraft. You can also sell fixed assets. You can write any 2 points, any 2 favorable points. So with this, we do complete our May-June 2003. Okay, paper 2, past paper question. In our next video, we would do a next question, another past paper question, which is very important to practice. It would be October-November 2008. That would be done in our next video. With this, I will end up this lesson and I would want you all to try the next question by yourself before coming up and seeing the video. Thank you.